Alright, here is my card, the notes. Good evening, class. I'm David Deal, and as I speak to you guys tonight on the military and some of the benefits that the military offers. So, the story I have for you to start with, there's a picture of yourself for a second being on the high seas and catching Somali pirates off the coast of Somalia. It's a pretty dangerous job, but somebody has to do it, and it happens all the time on the ocean every day. A lot of people don't realize that it occurs as often as it does, but it's something that happens pretty frequently. I actually was a part of this in 2009, 10 years ago, when we caught pirates off the coast of Somalia, and we turned them over to the Navy, and it was pretty interesting. It's actually a tie that we have to Captain Phillips during that time as well. So some of the things that I want to cover would be the military life in general and what it's like being in the military, some of the benefits of the military, pension benefits, and then what does that all add up to in the end when you put it all together. So for me, military life, this has been a part of my life for a little over 11 years now. I've been in the Coast Guard. I originally enlisted in Indiana and completely changed my life from the kind of life I was living, working in warehouse jobs, to joining the military, leaving my family and everything I ever knew to go be in the military, head to boot camp, and then eventually, after boot camp, moved to California and spend 10 years there. It's not something I can say I thought about when I was younger. My sister brought that upon me when I was in my early 20s and proposed that we consider the military and the benefits and being able to travel and just change our life in general for the better. So a quote that I have from Taylor says, Campbell said soldiers also need to be ready to adjust and adapt, which is very true. When you join the military, it's not something that most people are typically used to being in. So it's a complete lifestyle change for most folks. It's a lot easier for me, I can say. The kind of life I was used to living and being organized and disciplined, it was an easy adjustment for me. So I didn't have any issues with that. Another quote I have is from military.com. It says, military life is full of things that are done because they are tradition. The Coast Guard and all the branches in general have a lot of traditions that they do and have done for years. They have all kinds of line crossing ceremonies when you're crossing certain points in the ocean, that they serenade you essentially for completing these ceremonies, and it's something that's tradition that's been done for a long time. There's pinning ceremonies, and of course Coast Guard birthday and the other branches, their birthdays, there's different parades and celebrations they have. Some of the other big things to cover, the benefits of the military. The military offers a lot of benefits that most civilian jobs won't ever offer. They just cannot compare, in my opinion, to the education and retirement, the free medical and dental that you receive. That also applies to your spouse and children, as well as, like in our case with our baby that's on the way, our pediatrician is covered in that as well. They also have paid vacation, which another quote I have on that is myfuture.com. It says you receive 30 days of paid vacation each year. That's true. You earn 2.5 days of vacation every month, which equates to 30 for a year, and then you can add those if you don't use all of them in that calendar year, so you can build upon it. There's also tax-free benefits. Part of the allowance that you get for your pay in the military is called base allowance or housing. It's a pay that is given to you to live on the economy if you don't live in government housing, and it's non-taxable. So by the time you go to pay your taxes, you don't have to claim that on your taxes. You also are given $400,000 in life insurance as the active duty member. Your spouse can receive $100,000, and each child can receive $10,000. You also receive military discounts at various locations around the world and the country. You can receive a VA loan if you're an active duty member to help purchase your first house or second house. And they also have a thing called MAC flights that allow service members to board airplanes at military installments bases and be able to fly to other bases for free. You just put in some leave and you're able to hop on. So the next part of the discussion to talk about is the retirement benefits. Probably one of the biggest reasons why I joined the Coast Guard. When you hit 20 years in the service, regardless of which branch you're in, you get a free pension that gets paid out the entire rest of your life, and it goes up with the cost of living. That pension for me on the system that I'm on, when I hit 20 years, I get 50% of my base pay for the rest of my life. And then each additional year I do, I gain an additional 2.5%. So by the time I've done 30 years, I get 75% of my pay for the rest of my life. If I do 40 years, I get 100%. The new system for folks now that joined January 1 of this year and going forward, it's called a blended retirement system, and you get 2% for each year. So at 20, you get 40%, and 30, 60%, 40, 80%. That BRS, the percentages are less overall, but it allows service members at 12 years to get a bonus. So it gets, the bonus is calculated on your base pay for 2 months, and it's taxed, and then after that, you either can receive a lump sum or you can receive allotments. So a general one that I use, since it's at 12 years, is if you were at E6 in the military at 12 years, after taxes, you could roughly get about $7,300 just put into your bank account. The other part of the retirement is the COLA that comes with this. So that increases as time goes on. So you get cost of living allowances that also benefit it. The last thing I want to cover is, what does it all add up to? So when you take into account all the benefits for the education, the medical, and the dental, the benefits are hard to beat. All the benefits equate to, in my opinion, a priceless offering that the military gives each man or woman that decides to join. For instance, for me, this class that I'm in for my education, I wouldn't even be in it if I wasn't in the military. My tuition assistance is what's covering this class. My GI Bill, I'm able to pass on to my wife and son so they can go for school for free. So I see it as a huge ability to be able to receive all these benefits. I've been able to travel, and this is also something else that you see too. So the uniforms that you're able to receive, the awards that you get when you depart or get out of the service, these are things that are lasting mementos. And like I said, my education, that's something that I've been able to be afforded that had I not been in, then I would have never received it. One of the coolest parts, though, the last thing I'll cover, is the challenge coins you receive. So it's a time-honored tradition that the military has it. They pass out these challenge coins, and you don't even know if you're going to get one or not. It just randomly given to you in a handshake, basically when you least expect it. So my last point to cover is, if you've ever considered a good career, you might consider the military, because the benefits that it offers, it really would be a rewarding and challenging career. Thank you.